Because in a shop, time is money. Now, I've been working on cars for over 20 years. Today, I'm gonna give you 7 of my favorite mechanic shortcuts. It's gonna save you a ton of time and a whole lot of frustration. We'll start with the simple ones, but stick around because every tip gets better. Let's jump in. These first 2 may seem super simple, but you'd be surprised how many people skip them, even though they're a basic part of the diagnostic process. So our first one is the check engine light on your dash. Now, a lot of people freak out unnecessarily about the check engine light when it rarely means something serious. But then there's a whole nother group of people that totally ignore the check engine light when it's on the dash. I get a lot of calls from clients who want to describe to me all the symptoms that their car is having, like it's running rough or it stalls at stoplights. Usually at this point I ask, isn't the check engine light on your dash? And they say, oh yeah, totally, but I have no idea what it means. This is what some people would call burying the lead. Like, you should have started with that. A check engine light is a very strong indication of what's going on, never mind all the symptoms. I don't know if maybe people skip past the check engine light process because you do need a code reader and a lot of people don't have them. But if you watch this channel, you know I always say, very easy to get them checked, either for free at an auto parts store, or even better, what I always recommend is that everyone should have a code reader in their glove box. It's super cheap. This one is $10. I'll link it. Because a lot of car symptoms can be really misleading. Like a rough running engine could be a misfire or it could be a vacuum leak. But using a code reader is very likely going to tell you exactly what's wrong. Now this next one really baffles me because it's so simple, and that is a good old visual inspection. Now, a lot of people that I get calls from, they noticed something with their car while they were driving, and when they got home, they went straight inside and started asking ChatGPT what the problem was. Way overcomplicating it. You don't need to be a certified mechanic to use your 5 senses. So many of your car problems can be found with just a simple inspection. For example, if you're smelling something, pop the hood. Chances are you're probably going to see something burned or maybe something leaking or spraying out. And you know what a burned thing looks like. You know what leaks look like when they're spraying all over the underside of your hood. Other things you might see would be cracked or disconnected hoses or maybe a wire that's unplugged. Or if you're driving down the road and you're hearing something or feeling a clunking sound, look behind the wheel or maybe pop the wheel off because a lot of suspension problems can be really easily seen. Torn bushings, leaking boots, grease coming out, or just loose connections in general. Chances are, if you jump straight to ChatGPT, you're gonna get a worst case scenario where you could just do a quick inspection under the hood or pop the wheel off and see a really simple problem that you can fix yourself. These days, it's becoming increasingly easy to order the wrong car parts. Maybe the minimum wage employee at the auto parts store messed up your order, or you got a cheap knockoff part from Amazon. Or, what happens more than you'd think, you get the right part, but it arrives broken. So this next one is, always test and compare new parts. So what happens is people get the new part, go through the hassle of putting it in, only to find out it's the wrong part or it doesn't even work. For example, not that long ago, I had a friend put in a starter in his truck and it took him 5 or 6 hours to do. And it was a part from a local auto parts store, only to find that it was defective. He had to take the whole thing back out, warranty the starter, and do the job again. But guess what? A starter can actually be tested outside the vehicle before you install it. So my friend could have saved a whole day's worth of work by testing this first. Another example, I worked on a client's car one time and they brought me the new radiator. Fortunately, when I took the old radiator out, I put it next to the new one and I compared it very closely. And although all the mounting points of the radiator were the same, the connection points for the transmission lines were actually in different places. It turns out the radiator that they had brought me was from the wrong year. So if I wouldn't have realized that, I would have gone to all the work of putting the radiator into the car, reinstalling the radiator fans before I realized that the hoses wouldn't fit, and I would have had to do it all over again. So every pro mechanic knows you should always compare your new part to the old one, and if possible, test it first. Now these next 2 tips take advantage of one of the best built-in diagnostic tools that your car already has. Your car has many systems which have duplicate parts, which gives you a huge troubleshooting advantage. So this next diagnostic shortcut is comparing a part that you suspect is faulty with a duplicate part that you know works. For example, let's say you were having trouble with your headlights and you suspected a relay. But wait, before you go and check your relays, we need you to subscribe to the channel first, because I know many of you aren't subscribers yet, and it really does help us out. You could come in here, figure out which relay it is, and I know that this isn't what it's supposed to look like, but you may not. But what you could do is pull another relay, a duplicate one that looks exactly the same, and compare them, and you would notice that the pin from the headlight relay is missing. So without having to go out and buy a new relay or do a bunch of complicated tests, you could eliminate this as the problem just by comparing it to a good one. Maybe your relays are totally fine, but your headlights aren't working still. You could go check the bulbs. Compare the bulb that isn't working to the one that does. See if they match up. There's tons of parts on your car that have duplicates that you can check before going out and buying brand new ones. Now, if you have a suspected duplicate part that looks different than all the others, that's all fine and good. But what if you have a part that looks like all the other duplicates? How are you going to figure it out? That brings us to our next diagnostic point, which is swap suspected bad parts with their duplicates and see if the problem follows. Classic example is an engine misfire. That means one of the cylinders in the engine is not firing properly. But that could be a bad coil, a bad spark plug, a bad injector, or maybe a deeper issue. But what you can do is start switching parts and seeing if the code that the computer gives you changes. The check engine light is flashing on this car. I know it has a misfire. Here in the code reader, I can see it says I have a P0302, which means cylinder 2 is misfiring. So I know the problem is with this cylinder right here, number 2. Now, the easiest thing that I can do is to switch the coil, because they're all four the same. I can switch this coil with this one. All right, so there's the check engine light again. Now when I read the codes, check that out. I now have a P0303, cylinder 3 is misfiring. So that conclusively tells me that it's the ignition coil that was the problem, because the misfire moved cylinders when I moved the coil. And even if the code didn't switch when you switch the coils, you could use the same method on your injectors or your spark plugs. And going back to the relay example, say both relays look totally fine, there was no broken piece. You could swap the two and see if your horn stopped working instead of your headlight. Or what if I'm driving down the highway and I hear a roaring noise in the rear? That could be tires or bearings. So what if I swapped the front and rear wheels